Hi, hello. So let's watch this initial guide to flying in the Chamonix Passy area. Now let's watch the video together. It shows you a little bit the area and then I will discuss it in more detail.
Dobra, to tylko taktyczny zawrót do tego, do zdjęcia. Było nas tu 4. Tamten jeden w sumie był nisko, się wykręcił. Tamten jest za nami, a jeden poleciał do przodu dosyć mocno. Od razu do skały poleciał, tam niżej. Nie kręcił tu, tylko ciekawe gdzie on tam jest, bo nie widzę go.
Okay, so as you see there is some really nice mountain around here. And let's start with the one just in front of us. This is the Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Europe. 4,800 something meters, 80 something, so almost 5,000 basically. And you can actually fly over this mountain on a very rare occasions. Every few years there is a weather with a very high cloud base, basically where the cloud base is above the mountain in the weather forecast, and then there are many people coming here and flying over the Mont Blanc. It happens every few years. Very rare event, but there are some days where it's not so obvious from the weather forecast and you still may go like in a bit less spectacular style, but you may still go to the Mont Blanc, to this altitude. This is pretty rare, but I've seen this actually. I was on one day like this, I was following someone who actually made it to the Mont Blanc, and I chickened out before because there was a little bit, little bit turbulence to the wind coming from the other direction. But anyway, on that time, actually, the last time where people landed there, it was something like I don't know, a few years ago already. Many people have landed actually on the Mont Blanc, and then some had a problem to take off in the snow. You know, you're high altitude, little oxygen, very cold, um, and deep snow, and they were not able to take off, and a few guys actually slided down the snow and actually died. So it's a dangerous place to do this. So it's extreme. You know, this is the extreme side of flying in this area. And since then, I think there are some restrictions regarding landing on the Mont Blanc paragliding. You would have to check it, but I believe it's forbidden now because of those who died there last time. The other thing that you may do with the Mont Blanc is there are flights, the people fly around Mont Blanc, so they may like a tour. Take into account that I've never did this, so I don't know. I've never done this, so I don't know this, but I've heard that especially on the south side, on the other side of Mont Blanc, there are like huge glaciers, few opportunities to land safely, and very strong thermals. So it's also something that's very demanding. And on this side, from in June, July, I'm not sure about August, probably too, you have like a restricted airspace, so you cannot really fly here. This airspace is restricted for the helicopters rescue. And there's another airspace here in Chamonix, but this is not so huge. But this one is pretty massive here. So if you fly in May, I believe, there are no restrictions. You have to check it on your own, of course. But yeah, starting from June, yeah, this part is difficult to. I mean, you cannot fly here. There is restricted airspace, so you have to fly from behind if you want to go up there. And now, this is Chamonix. Yeah, this is Chamonix. And from Chamonix, actually, you can take a cable car up to somewhere around here, and this is gonna be the Brevin. I move a little bit the view. This is a good one. This is perfect. So you may get to Brevin, and Brevin is a place where you take off at 2,000 meters. So even if you like in midsummer you have like pretty strong inversions in this valley, so everything starts pretty late. You may still take off around 10, from Brevon, and then climb above the inversion basically, and then fly either what I said, the direction Mont Blanc, or you fly this direction. This is east towards Switzerland, and then Valais. And as you know, Valais is like it's a pretty crazy place to fly paragliders. Strong conditions, a lot of valley wind, but very good thermals, and it's like a very long reach. So actually, you go, yeah, you make like the guys now been doing 370 kilometers flat triangles over there. I mean, coming also to here, but starting over there. But you have to take into account that the transition from here to Valais goes over Martigny, and Martigny is actually where the valley of Valais makes a 90 plus degree turn, and there's a lot of wind in the valley. So this is like so extremely turbulent, strong wind conditions in this area. So you don't really want to land there. It's dangerous. So before you go there, you should understand how to get there, so that you avoid landing in getting trapped in the wind valley there around there, and being forced to land in valleys basically, because this is not fun. But you may also fly this direction. So actually you take this east side, southeast. So you may follow this ridge and then fly around here, and then cross to the RAV, and then you have either fly left to the west, to southwest actually, to Grenoble, or you cross the RAV, or this is the cold RAV, you cross that direction, you go to Annecy. You may also just turn behind here and go to the Lake of Geneva, or go this direction and fly here to this valley of Saint-Gervais, but this is not so interesting for large flights. Large flights are basically either Switzerland or Grenoble or Annecy. So this is the big advantage, that this is pretty high. Another high takeoff spot around here is actually above Cluse, which is behind here. This is Tête de la Sala. There is no cable car, so you have to walk up something like 700 meters from the parking place. But it's a similar altitude, and you are directly on the RAV, so you don't have to make the transition here. And this is also a place where large cross-country flights start. And now, so this is like the advanced kind of like part of this. This is for the advanced pilots. This is actually what they do. Now, if you're a beginner pilot, you avoid this valley, the Chamonix valley, because this valley, there's a lot of wind. This valley is higher than the other valleys, and it's very narrow. So due to the Venturi effect, the wind here is much stronger than in Passy, for example. 30, 40, 50, 60 kilometers per hour is not uncommon. There are also very limited landing opportunities because it's densely populated area. So with this together with the wind makes that if you fly in the morning where there is not much wind, no problem. But if you fly there, after 12 afternoon, yeah, then it's not a place for beginners for sure. The same here. This area is the same, because here you have like again like a valley making turns and stuff. So it's maybe also turbulent, and there are very limited opportunities to land also. But this part is extremely beginner friendly. Actually, this part is extremely beginner friendly. It's very well protected from the wind, because the valley wind goes, actually this is the wind valley goes like here. The valley wind comes like here, turns here, and goes up here. So basically this part is on the inner side of the stern, but behind it's the valley wind tends to go on the external side of the stern. So there's very little wind typically, even if the valley wind on this side, and also the prevalent wind direction in this area is north-northwest. So it's also well protected from the north-northwest meteo wind because of the huge mountain here. So if you take off here, in this plein jour is the takeoff, and if there is thermal activity, because it's very important. This protection from the wind coming from behind only works if you have like a sun shining on the slopes and making the air move up. If this is in the shadow, if there are no thermals, And then you may get another effect, which is the wind coming from the north will just slide down the slope and flush down everything, or in some spots will flush down. So it may be very unpleasant and dangerous experience actually, and I've seen very experienced tandem pilots actually being trapped in this, because it's so different than the normal conditions. So beware if there are no thermals, if it's in the shadow. And actually another thing to be aware of is eastern wind. So if the wind comes from this direction here, it may also get, it's not protected here, it may also get down here. So you may get a lot of strong wind here on turbulent conditions. And the most actually frequent danger is the southwestern wind coming from here. So the wind comes here, it's all open, and it's pretty strong. And what happens is that you have the landing spot, one here, smaller, and the bigger here. And if the wind is so strong, you won't make it to the landing spot. Basically, this is the danger here. Yeah. But otherwise, if the wind is not coming from this direction, it's not too strong, it's pretty nice. The landing spot just below the takeoff, it's pretty large, it's not so large, but around this takeoff there are very limited opportunities to land because it's populated. So it's not so perfect for the beginners. There is another takeoff, landing spot around here, behind this mountain, that is huge, but it's farther away. So you have to, in order to get there, you already have to take some thermals. And there is a huge field in between, but this is forbidden, like because there are some problems. I mean, this is agricultural land, and and landing there is forbidden. And also regarding forbidden stuff is you have a natural reserve area, actually from the Plainjou takeoff to the east, and covering this area, and here. Basically, it's all natural reserve. You cannot fly lower than 300 meters above the ground in the here. This is from memory, so you verify it on your own. And yeah, this is something you have to take care if you fly, for example, from Brabant in this direction, or if you take off here, and you will get, like derived a little bit by the wind in this direction, and that you don't fly in this protected area. This is serious. And then, so this is a really beginner friendly place, well protected from the wind. The thermals in this area depends, they are not extremely strong for sure. I mean, they're weak, they may be strong, but not extreme. The more you move in this area, the stronger thermals are gonna be. There is more naked rocks, cliffs, kinda like stuff like this. Especially this area here, you will get some very strong thermals. So if you are a beginner, I suggest you avoid this. Also because the wind, depending on the valley wind, how high it is, you may also get a little bit of the wind, and you may get just on the lee side of this mountain, and it will just be flashed down. So there's another danger here, but also the strong thermals are really they may be really extremely strong on this side. But if you are more like intermediate pilot, then you can move more closer to this area. And then if you are really confirmed, if you really are well trained to handle the strongest thermals, then you just go directly here, and you're just gonna take the 5-meter thermal. We just bring you to 2,500 meters here in no time, and then you may fly wherever you like. And wherever you like means, for example, you may go to the other side of this valley, and this is Aravi, well exposed in the morning in the sun. So basically, it's like highway. Basically, fly there. Yeah, this is what you would do if you are here. Basically, this would be to cross, or you go behind to the Lake of Geneva. The Chablais is the name of the mountain behind there. It's also pretty nice. So you have these options. But the problem with the Plainjou here is that it's pretty low. I think it's 1,200 meters, something like this, which means that there's strong, or it's almost always there's strong inversion. So you may only actually get first thermals around noon, and until you get here it will take 1 hour basically. So you will be here at 1 p.m. So it's not a suitable place for long cross-country flights. I mean, if you do like 60-100 kilometers flight, no problem, because even starting at 1 p.m. here, you will have time to fly here, there, wherever you like. But if you go for really long cross-country flights, then it's just too low to stable. That's why you go either to Brevin, Tête de la Sala, or there are intermediate solutions. One is here. This is Varan. A very nice takeoff. Actually, it's so nice. It looks a little bit like a golf field. It's just a perfect grass and stuff. Also for Volbeef, if you wanna stay there, it's really nice. But it's something like 1,000, I don't know, 500 meters, 600 meters maybe. It's accessible by foot. There's like climb, I mean you have to walk something like 300 meters up from the parking place. Plainjou is actually directly at the parking, so you come with the by bus or by car, and then you're ready to go. There's also like in summer, there's also like camping on this parking place, so actually they have like washing machines, showers, that you can use. And there is another place on the other side of the valley here. There's Planet. It's also something around 1,000, I don't know, 400 meters maybe. But it's directly here below the RAV. So, and there is a very viable thermal there. So if you take off here, yeah, you get pretty quickly, pretty high, and then you can move a little bit behind to the RAV, and then you're on the highway. So those are basically the takeoff spots here, the main ones. There are more other like Megève and stuff like this, but from my experience, they're not so good. There's Bizan, but this is farther to the west, so topic for another video. Yeah, and now, what is really important here is the valley wind. So the wind goes here through this narrow venturi, actually around just between Cluse and Salange. It accelerates here to crazy speeds. You don't really want to be here after 12, after noon. You don't want to be here after noon because it's still gonna be so strong that you will fly backwards basically. And the wind is stronger, the lower you are, the stronger the wind. You will have here two legs, so actually you can look on the surface of the wing of the legs to get an idea about the strength of the wind. But very often it's very strong here. So you want to land somewhere around here basically if you have to land, because this area there's official landing spot, and this is well protected from the wind, and there's much less wind than you don't actually feel the valley wind around here in this official landing zone, and the first and the second. If in case you cross, and there is another takeoff on this side. Oh la la, what's the name of this one? I forgot. But you may also take, it's around Flen, so you also may take off here, but actually what you do is you take off and you fly directly to the other side. So, but depending on the wind direction, if the wind is coming a little bit from the west, it's much better oriented to the wind than Tête de la Sala, for example. But this takeoff here near to Flen, this is a golf field, behind the golf field. This is very small, and it's a tricky takeoff. I wouldn't say dangerous, but actually could be in a sense, because it's very little space to take off. So not definitely not an easy takeoff. And yeah, so taking into account that the wind is so strong here, if you cross from this side to the other and you get too low, then of course you don't want to be somewhere around here, because you're gonna be in the lee of this mountain here. You don't want to land in this area for sure. There's gonna be so much wind, it's gonna be crazy dangerous. I mean, not crazy dangerous, but it's dangerous, or maybe dangerous frequently. So what happens is if you get low here, you actually want to follow with the wind on this side, because the valley makes a turn here, and this is higher than this. So actually what happens is that the wind is gonna, due to the inertia, it's gonna flow a little bit outside, and you get a small dynamic lift here, which will keep you in the air for long enough that typically you will be able to come to this mountain on the other side, and then you get a mixture of dynamic lift and the thermals, because it's exposed to sun, and then you will be able to climb up and go back, but not always. For some reason this mountain here doesn't work always. Yeah, and also this valley here goes to Albertville, and in Albertville the valley wind is actually coming from the west, so coming from this direction like here, and the wind coming here, you get also a kind of convergence around here. You may get, it depends on the day and stuff, but yeah, so actually coming here, it's a place where you can get enough lift to keep you alive, so to say, keep you in the air. And the valley here to the left, this one here, this is Saint-Gervais Valley. It goes for something, I think 20 kilometers, and then you get much higher mountain there, and also very windy, because this is actually gonna be like the direction between the boundary between Italy and France, a little bit behind. It may be extremely windy. And in this valley also you have strong winds, strong valley winds. So basically it means that going this direction is easy with the wind, but coming back you will have, I mean, strong, not so strong as in Chamonix or here, but you will have like 25 kilometers per hour. So it's gonna be a bit difficult to come back. But there is also this opportunity, this option to fly. So summing up, I would say very nice out, and there's Altiport in Megève, somewhere around here, a bit behind, and you have to take care for there's also limited airspace, and there is a risk of collision with the airplanes. There was actually an accident like a few years ago. So you have to take care of that also. And there's another place actually where there's like a small altiport. There's also smaller restricted airspace. I'm not sure it's because of that or natural reserve. It's around here. But you actually, there is an airstrip, and there are really like, there's a small airplane flying here pretty frequently. So something to watch out for. Yeah, so summing up, it's a very interesting place to fly, with beautiful views on the Mont Blanc and other mountain, with very good takeoffs high, that gives you an access to like yeah, incredibly long and fascinating cross-country flights, and also with well protected takeoff, the plein jour here, which is very suitable for the beginners. Well protected from the wind again, and with not so strong thermal conditions. So yeah, a very nice place to be. And if you fly here in plein jour, you still fly with the view for the Mont Blanc. So yeah, it's one of my favorite places, so to say. I hope you enjoy this guide, and let me know in the comments what you think about this. And in general, you know, if you think this video is worth the time of watching it, and comment something so that it helps the YouTube algorithm. You like the video, please, if you liked. Don't like if you dislike if you didn't. And you know, there's this bell icon to notification stuff. If you like to be notified, then click that. And see you watching another video hopefully soon. Have a nice day. Bye bye.